When it's time for an adventure on the open highway, one quick call to American Family Insurance gets you headed in the right direction. Our travel peace of mind package is there if you encounter a bump in the road. From roadside assistance to rental car coverage, we have you covered. Find a local agent or get a quote at amfam.com.
American Family Insurance.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
To be sweaty.
Oh, I love to sweat.
To me, yellow lights mean you're supposed to stop.
To me, yellow lights mean floor it, baby, floor it.
Sharing ways that they're different, here are Dan and Jane Seaborn on Focus on the Family Minute.
He drives way too fast.
She drives way too slow.
And I keep both eyes on the road when I'm driving.
I keep both my eyes on her when I'm driving.
And Dan drives too close to the car in front of him and too close to the center line when he's driving.
And Jane drives too close to the center of every pothole in the stinking road when she drives. You got a wife like that? I'm like, honey, didn't you see it coming?
I like grilled chicken.
I like my chicken deep fried in Crisco oil covered in shake and bake.
Knowing what your spouse likes can make your marriage better. Hear more at FamilyMinute.org.
At Focus on the Family, we know you want to see your grandchildren follow Christ. Here's how you do that. The Legacy Grandparenting Summit, the only national conference on Christian grandparenting. Coming to over 100 locations on October 20th and 21st. You'll find wisdom, direction, and inspiration from speakers including Ann Graham Lotz and Miles McPherson. Register now for the Legacy Grandparenting Summit at legacycoalition.com/summit.
WQEE 99.1 FM Noonan, WBRQ LaGrange, WZEV 90.5 FM Lineville, JC Sports Networks. The views and opinions of this show and program are not the views and opinions of this station, its management, or its clientele. It's now time for Tea Talks with your host, Margie Conway, in association with Connecting Hearts Network, connecting hearts of women to resources, inspiration, and one another. Sponsored by Pia Payne and Contour Mortgage, Warrior Defenders, Happy Life Nutrition, Killingsworth Realtor, and Family Patterns Matter. Now here's your host of Tea Talk, Margie Conway.
Good morning. This is Margie Conway with the Creative Heart Studios, and this is Connecting Heart Network's Tea Talks. We're very excited today. Our sponsor, Linda Kirkpatrick from Family Patterns Matters, has brought a couple of her friends with her, and we're going to talk about some of our local nonprofits and how they serve the area, and also how, just the heart of somebody that's working in a nonprofit, because it does take a special heart to be able to serve others through an avenue like that. So, hi ladies, I'm glad to have you with me. I am going to give you just a moment to introduce yourself and who you're with, and then we'll have our conversation. All right, Linda, why don't you start?
Okay, Linda Kirkpatrick with Family Patterns Matter.
Shirley Franco with Family Matters.
She's good.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry. It's okay. And I'm Melanie Reeves with River Life.
And I've heard of River Life several, through social media a lot. Nowadays, social media is where we send our information through. So that's I'm excited for you to tell us more about it and the opportunities, because here at Creative Heart Studios, we want to be involved and we want to do things in our community. And we're really good at collecting stuff if you ever need it. We have great listeners. They come through every time. Linda, we've talked with you about Family Patterns Matters several times. We love the kids and the things that the kids that you serve and the things that you do through there. Why don't you give us just a little refresher about what you do?
Well, what we do is we serve the kids in Coweta County that are underserved. Those kids that may not have a group to fit into, and they come and they join us, and we give them opportunities to understand how important they are. And one thing that I'm really excited about is we will be partnering with River Life with our kids to do a community service project together. So that's how we help our kids grow, is through doing things in the community, learning life skills, and music and art therapy.
I think all of those are so important, and especially now that she's talking about opportunity to serve. One of the guys that's working with the youth at our church was looking for a place to serve too, so maybe we can connect him with you. Because I've always carried, I did our middle schoolers at church for like 15 years, and I always carried them out to serve, because until they see sometimes how well they do have it, they don't realize how grateful they should be for things. All right, Miss Shirley, you have joined Linda lately.
Yes, I have, as an assistant.
And tell us a little bit about what you do there.
Well, I do a lot of her administrative work, and I go to all the meetings, and I'm learning all this about nonprofit stuff, and what she does is great. These kids need her.
Oh, absolutely. I've only been to a couple of meetings, but I need to try to get more. If Ricky would stop going to play bingo on Thursday night, I could get to the meetings. They're kind of laughing. It's like my husband has had knee replacement surgery, and so lately I've been carrying him to physical therapy and to, I didn't push the button, but yeah, I know where we are. Physical therapy and doctor's appointments and those things, and now he's playing bingo with my daughter down in Pine Mountain on Thursday night, so we got to get that out so we can do more of this.
Yes.
Working with Linda,
Yes.
You get to learn a lot.
I have learned a lot, and I still have a lot more to learn about how it works and who she helps, and she's amazing.
Well, it may turn into a Linda Fest here, because I don't know who she doesn't help.
She will go out of her way to help anybody that needs help.
Yes, she does.
And she
really
loves
does.
kids. She loves kids, and that takes a special kind of person.
Oh, it absolutely does. I've seen many people try to fake it till you make it in there as a teacher and a daycare center runner and everything else, and you have to have the heart for them to be able to be effective in what you do. I told them I had a funny joke that I would tell them, but I was going to wait till we got on air so Linda and everybody else can laugh about it. And it's about Shirley being Linda's assistant, and it's like, for 15 to 18 years, I kind of lost track. I was the church secretary at a local church for the pastor, and the pastor was very well known around the area for a long time until Noonan's explosion of growth. And anybody would say, "Where do you work at?" And I'd say, "I'm the secretary at Westside Baptist Church." And they'd say, "Oh, Melvin Paynes, you must have the patience of a saint." So, you're Linda's assistant. You must have a lot of patience, and you got to have a lot of stamina.
No, she has a lot of patience with me. And I met her through Three Rivers.
Yes.
The older job,
right?
Looking for a job that nobody wants to hire you when you get older. But she stepped up, and we have hit it off, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful because I'm not perfect.
Oh, none of us are.
And what I don't get, she gets, and then I'll go, "Linda, I didn't get that." And she's so generous and so sweet to me. I can't ask for a better person.
Well, I know from speaking to her, she appreciates the help, because she really needed some backup. Yeah. She's got great volunteers over there, but she needed some backup with the admin.
Well, I appreciate the work, and I've made a new friend for life.
Thank you.
That's very good. And it takes, two different type of people to have a good partnership to do that. That's like, I kind of wish Amy was sitting here. I can't do a lot of the day-to-day things without Amy, because she keeps, "Did you mail this? Did you do that? Did you remember this phone call?" And I'm like, so she helps keep me on track, and that's good to be able to have that relationship. Well, it looks like, as a sponsor, Linda is doing her job. She has brought in Melanie today to talk to us about Melanie's nonprofit, River Life, and we're going to find out a little bit about what she does. Melanie, tell us a little bit about River Life and what you do.
Okay. Thank you so much, Linda. Thanks for connecting me, and thank you for having me. River Life is a volunteer organization. We connect volunteers with people who need help. And that really translates to hands-on projects like exterior home repair, building wheelchair ramps,
that's a big one,
yard work for people who can't do it themselves, or they can't afford to pay to have someone do it. So we work with a lot of seniors, and we work with some with disabilities. We even work with single moms, just people who need some hands-on help for something. So that's the biggest thing that we do. We have other programs and other things, but the biggest thing is just helping people connect to a meaningful service opportunity. We have so many people that want to serve.
Right.
But they don't always know how to get connected.
Absolutely.
And so we will connect people with individuals and families and even other nonprofits.
All right. And Linda, you have something?
Well, what I love about River Life is there are so many people that need help that people don't know about. And we can connect River Life. I can call her and say, you know what? There's this family that does this. Do you have somebody that could help?
Right.
And she will say she's going to, get on it and help it. So it's not, not those that we know about or we hear about.
Right.
It's those in the community that don't know where to get the help they need
Right.
and are living in a house that's falling apart and don't have a family or anyone that can help them. So that's what I love about River Life. You can go to them and just say, I just heard about this. Is there something that you can do, or is there somebody we can connect with? And the great part about the smaller nonprofits in Coweta County, we use each other.
That's necessary.
That's right.
If we can't do it, we say, I've got somebody that I'm going to connect you with. And that's what I love about her.
Well, and the neat thing about what you just said, I mean, River Life can't do everything.
Right.
Like, we don't have a food pantry, and we don't pay utility bills, and we don't do health care. We do home repair, hands-on projects. But if somebody comes to us in need of something, we have partners that we would be able to connect the person to.
Right.
So I love that about our community, because we really do collaborate in such a beautiful way to meet needs that are, let me just say this, like when we find people who need help, often, like Linda said, they don't have family, they don't have friends, maybe they are homebound and can't connect to a church family, and they physically can't take care of their home or their yard even. So they're isolated, they're depressed, they are alone and feeling hopeless. So we come in and we can connect them, we clean up their yard, or we build a wheelchair ramp, or whatever we do, if we know that they have a food need,
yes, ma'am.
Or if they need whatever it is, we just know who we can connect them to, and I just love the collaboration of our community in that way.
I do too. I
take care of the whole person.
Yes, because it may be they come to you for one thing, and when you go to do that one thing, you find out there's a lot more that needs to happen in that dynamic to make them, like a healthy home environment for them to live. And that's what's important, people, when you think, when I first heard about River Life, I thought, they just do volunteer work, blah, 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 blah. But then the more I learned about it, I thought, how cool is that? How cool is that somebody thought about the importance of that? Because, people scramble.
And that's part of what I love about this is I'm finding out more about people in our community. I'm finding out about more people who's trying to do Christian service in the community that wants to network together. I ran across one a couple of weeks ago that there's a whole group that builds beds for kids that needs beds.
Yes, Sleep in Heavenly Peace.
Sleep in Heavenly Peace.
Well,
I found them out, so I contacted them, and they're going to come on before long, because I'm like, I never knew that. And so now I'm more aware of what people's doing because I want to share it with you. So they're awesome, and there's so many more here, and that's one good thing about Linda. She's going to help us discover all the people we didn't know about. I love that about our sponsors, because I almost daily I've got different ones call me, how about this and what about that, and so they're working together in our network to be able to expand out and showcase other people and tell them what's available.
Yes, knowing, like Melanie said, we can't do it all. Our focus is youth and helping them get what they need so they can graduate high school and go on to whatever they want to do that makes them a success.
But
we can't do that if they're family isn't healthy.
You're right.
If they don't have a place to live, if they don't have enough food.
Right.
So all of these organizations, we can just reach out to them and say, hey, you know what? We're working with this family and they need this. Can you help?
Now, that's part of, you gave me a brochure, and it's over in one of my racks, the Connections brochure.
Yes, Family Connections.
Family Connections, everybody's listed in that brochure that, was there at the time it was published of who does what and things. All right, that's awesome. Tell us about how some of the nonprofits are meeting in the area and networking together besides that. I mean, y'all came from a meeting this morning.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. It was the Nonprofit Alliance with the Chamber.
Okay.
You do not have to be a member of the Chamber to come to the Nonprofit Alliance, and it's just, we get together and we learn stuff. We learn things that are going on in the community with the other nonprofits, how we can help each other, and other great information. The Family Connections is incredible.
It really is.
It is incredible. It meets once a month, and I think they do virtual and face-to-face. I'm a face-to-face kind of girl.
Right.
Right. But they connect a lot of nonprofits. Again, they are a networking. They're also a nonprofit, and I would love for them to be on this show just to tell about everything that they're doing, because they're out there in the community saying, okay, we've got all these nonprofits. This is what they can do for you. And there's a very small, well, it's not really small, but it's a great nonprofit, and I'm just going to mention them because I'm giving them a shout out, and that's I-58 Mission.
I have heard of them.
In Sonoy, and I would love to get her on the show. She's just an incredible person. She and I partner. Another one is Jaeger Road. We partner. They call me if I have a need, if they have a need. Both of them do, and we work together, and that's what it's about.
That's
working
important.
Together to make our community better.
That's important. And a couple of them that you mentioned, like Jaeger Road, was advertised that they'd be on today, but they had things happen that called their people away, so they had to take care of that, and we completely understand that. But there's an open invitation. That's a good thing with a one-on-one show and a group show. We can fit it in somewhere.
Can I say one more
yes,
thing
ma'am,
about
please
the collaboration? Because one of the things that came out of COVID was a crisis call that we started weekly. Well, we didn't start it, but some leaders in the nonprofit world created a weekly call where emergency management was involved, and some government official folks, and then some of the critical nonprofits with, covering all of the bases, food, schools, healthcare, just what were the needs that were coming out of COVID. So we kind of had this weekly phone call, and then when the tornado hit in March, we transitioned and became, then it was kind of a dual crisis that we were handling, and how do we keep moving forward? How can we work together? What are the needs? What are you seeing? So there's, just this, there just really is and it didn't have to be, you didn't have to be on the call every week. I mean, it wasn't like that. It just, and now I think it's a monthly call that we do, but it just is amazing to see how the different parts of our community serve together.
Well, and it's, as I said, I was a church secretary for many, many years, and we would get calls, and sometimes I wouldn't know who to refer them to. I used to try to keep a resource, so the fact that you are now pulling together and you have the family connections and you have the networking with one another is just, fantastic in my opinion. Yeah, it's great because it's, even when we were talking about church, you can invite them to church, but if they're sitting there hungry, they're not going to be able to listen to the sermon. So we have to be able to reach people and meet their needs to be able to reach them with whatever emotional or psychological thing they have too. They have to have practical needs met.
Well, and one of the things that has come out of everything that's happened in Coweta County is the mental health.
Right.
Yes.
And especially the mental health in our children and our youth.
Right.
And how can we get them through this? And I know there's a lot of programs and things that are coming up, to help. I know Ruth Scott is heading up like a suicide prevention and mental health thing, and it's just, it's sad to think that our youth are so desperate and lonely.
Oh, yes.
They're thinking about killing themselves.
Right. And Northside Church had a suicide prevention workshop a couple of months ago. I went to that one and went through it, and just the way the guide led, being aware of what people are going through. So even if they're not saying, here's what I'm doing, you can be aware of what they're going through and what's happening around them. And so it's necessary that these people can connect with other people, like the kids that comes to Linda. And just like you're talking about the single moms in the home care, once you get to the home, you can tell, if they need more help. And then they feel they can trust you to talk to if they didn't know.
That's right. So, the key is building the trust.
Right.
Right. And like with what we do, and I'm not going to monopolize this, but we like to do one-on-one with the children because every child has different needs.
Absolutely.
And if you try to just group them together, it's not going to work. But they will work together as a team, and when you get to know them one-on-one, you're going to understand what they're going through.
Oh, yes.
And you can decide, okay, how can I help this family? Because the family is the core of the kids. We're just there to help. And I know we're having October is Bullying Awareness Month.
You mentioned that. We need to advertise that.
Yes, Family Patterns Matter is in contact with some of the middle schools, and we are doing an art contest. What is bullying? How does it look to you? What do you do? And every child that's part of it is going to get something, and then we're going to have it judged, and we're going to talk about it because you'll be able to see.
It opens it, Artwork opens it. I mean, we were talking even about Backstreet Arts over there. They do a wonderful work in the community of reaching people with art. And I've been over there to do a few things. And what we do here at the studio is more programmed art therapy instruction than open art. But I love open art. You can look around and see that.
Yeah.
It means a lot. And with the children, one of the biggest exercises that I did during all of my trainings and certifications and my own counseling is when Christian Families Today, they brought their children's therapist out, and she said, here's one of the exercises we do with the children, and it was to have draw your family as animals. Draw your primary family as animals. Now, I could go through mine, and that would bring you back into my story again. But even after I had been through all this counseling and stuff, and all this grown-up, really important stuff I've done, that left the biggest impression on me when I looked back at that picture, and I was like, whoa, even at my age, the way, I saw the people in the family, it showed up in that drawing.
Right. And you learn a lot from actually listening to the kids and then seeing what they put down.
Yes. And probably a lot of them don't really want to say that's happening because then they feel weak. And
absolutely.
And then they're, if it's brought out more, they're going to get it more, and it's hard for them to deal with it.
Yeah.
And it's with, you talk about not wanting to talk about it. I have said before, I grew up with my daddy in and out of jail, and actually when he was in jail was when our family was quietest. And so, but I didn't want to tell anybody my dad was in jail. And so I kept a lot of that to myself, and I know when I left the school that I was in and went out into public high school, because my mom finally left my dad, but that's because he was in prison. I think if he got out, she'd have went back. And it was, I was in that high school, it was kind of like I was more quiet and reserved than everybody else. They thought I was snobby. And it wasn't so much that I was snobby, but I mean, well, where do you, let me tell you what I just came out of, And so actually my best friend in high school ended up being a girl whose dad had come out gay. And moved out of the family, and there was like 6 kids there, and so we were best friends because we could talk to each other about what we'd been through, but nobody else understood it at that point. So forming the trust with people and the relationships is very important. That's how we can best serve them. That's one thing that I say. I always say, knowing, you never know what the person next to you is going through. So be kind, be nice, be understanding, because everybody's going through something. I can guarantee you, all of us at this table has something in life going on. Yeah. But I've always felt that one way that you can help yourself in your own situations is to step out and serve other people.
Well, and what's the matter with smiling at people?
That's it.
As you walk by them, and they sometimes they look at you funny.
Yeah,
but
they do.
A lot of times they'll smile back.
That's true.
Because maybe that's the only smile they've gotten that day.
With saying smile, I was in California and I worked in the hospital there in Kaiser, And being the South girl,
Oh, yeah.
We're real friendly. Hello, how are you? And they looked at me like I was crazy. When I get on the elevator, and I go, I just want to see how your day was. And then finally they got used to me smiling and saying, oh, hi, good morning, good afternoon, how are you doing? And it was so weird to them. And I said, I'm from the South. I'm sorry.
Well, and we're responsible for how we present ourselves and how we act and approach other people. They're responsible for how they accept it or don't accept it. We're responsible for what we do. All right, we have a few more minutes, Melanie. If you want to tell us how we could reach Rivers of Life and anything that you have coming up that you'd like us to know about.
Awesome. So we have a website, livetheriverlife.com. And I'll tell you about our name in just a second.
Okay.
But we have a couple of things that are happening even right now. We are doing a campaign called Serve Timber. So for September, for the month of September, it's called Serve Timber now. And we're just encouraging people to connect with us or with another nonprofit. On our website and on our social media channels, we're actually highlighting different nonprofits and what they do and what their volunteer opportunities are. It's just a way for our community to raise awareness, right, within the community, and just tell them these are ways you can volunteer. So Serve Timber is one. There's a tab on our website about that. We have a growing list. The more people hear about River Life, the more need comes to light. And so we have a list. We have a list of more than 10 names of people who are currently waiting for a wheelchair ramp. Now, this is, a few of them already have a ramp, but it's in disrepair and needs to be replaced. But we're talking about people who do not have access in and out of their home. And so we need volunteer teams. It only takes 4 to 6 people to build a wheelchair ramp in a full day.
Right.
We have project leaders. We have people who have the skills. So the 4 of us sitting around this table can go and build a wheelchair ramp.
I'm trying not to laugh at
that.
I'm like, okay, I'd call my husband, but he can't bend too good with
it. My shoulders and my knees won't let me do it.
We just want to, anybody can do these things.
Right.
As long as you have the right person that can tell us, this goes here, this is how we build it.
True.
I just thought of somebody, my son.
Awesome, yeah.
When he was telling me the other day, Mom, I'd like to do some community service, but he's really busy. But you know what? I'm going to connect him. I'm going to say, hey, here's what you can do.
Right.
You need to do it, bud.
That's right. So we just need willing hands, people with time. And that's anything from serving to doing a build project. And if it is too intimidating, really, like we have yard work. We even do, we have a program coming up called Silver Bells. That is in collaboration with a couple of other nonprofits started by Phil's Friends, and that's a nonprofit that teaches, they really minister to the caregiver of people with dementia.
That's important, that's very important.
Oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful program. But through a couple of nonprofits, we serve seniors Christmas.
Oh, cool.
And so it's just this, we have sponsors that sponsor a senior for Christmas. And then we wrap the gifts, and go deliver them.
Now, you guys need to give me more information on that, because we can do some of that. Yes.
Absolutely. So, Silver Bells. And there is a website called silverbellscoweta.com.
Okay.
So,
because it's not really assisted living, but it's the Corinth Road. We serve those people at Christmas.
Yes.
And I'd like to, and when I heard about Silver Bells last year, I didn't get connected with it, but I'd love to.
Yeah.
I'd love to. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because we will definitely take that on here. I mean, we can do that.
That's so exciting. Yes.
It is, and I just love the way the community works together. We had some people come through talking about the Oktoberfest in the car show that was at Coweta Forest. I mentioned the church that had the suicide prevention thing this Saturday. I'm going to one at Madras that's for people with disabilities, and it's for activism and not ableism, and that's what I need. So I love that, there's so many opportunities around. We just need to make sure that we're getting them out.
Right.
Now, if you're not one of our local listeners, that's okay. A lot of these you can still get involved in because, first of all, every nonprofit needs donations. But second of all, there's no telling what you can do in your own communities.
Right.
That's this. There are at-risk youth. There are seniors and moms that need housework and yard work and building things done in every community. So if you had someone from somewhere else say, okay, where do I start? What would be the first thing you'd tell them to do? Come on now, the best answer I've had from all this was a 16-year-old girl, and she nailed it. So what would you guys do?
The question.
If somebody in another community wanted to start some type of service organization like this, what would you advise them to do?
I would advise them to reach out to nonprofits in their community, see what's going on, and see what's needed.
Yes.
And then take it from there.
Okay.
Careful not to duplicate services, but definitely see how you can strengthen what's already happening.
Yes, ma'am.
And then find the gaps. And then my second thing would be to reach out to the local churches, because these are the people that want to make a difference in the community, because that's what we're called to do. Love God, love others. So connect with local churches to help with meeting the needs.
Oh, yes,
you identify a need.
That's wonderful, ladies. I thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today. I always post Linda's information, but now that we have Melanie around, I never meet anybody that doesn't turn into a friend, so we will be posting all of Melanie's information. And we just thank both of you for coming, for all three of you for coming this morning.
Thank you.
Everybody needs a good assistant behind them, and I kind of am missing Amy right now because I feel like there's something I should tell you, and I don't know what it is. Oh, well. But I thank you, ladies, for coming, and I usually say, open the doors on Perry Street and yell Margie, and I'll come out the back, and that's kind of true most of the time I will, but I have been saying since I got that cute little car that if the meeting is here, Margie's near. So if you see the car, I'm somewhere around there, probably with this microphone asking somebody a question. So if you got any questions you want to ask, let me know and I'll do it for you. Take care and listen again next week. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Moving is a big decision. Selling or buying a home in any market, but especially today's, can raise a lot of questions. Hi, I'm Amy with Killingsworth Realty. My husband Todd and I serve the Coweta and local area. Our purpose at our first meeting is to learn your goals, answer questions, and provide resources so that you can make the best decision for you and your family. Find us online at killingsworthrealty.com or call 678-525-0047 to schedule a free consultation today to discuss your real estate needs. You don't have to do this alone.
Hello. I'm Pina Payne with Contour Mortgage, and we're so excited. We have just moved to this new company, and we are located at 560 Noonan Crossing Bypass in Noonan next to Art and Jake's, and we have some great products. Our interest rates are better than any other companies, and we also have some great products for the VA. We can do a better deal for you with fees than any other company. We have a lot of different kind of programs.
Hi, I'm Holly Reese. I'm the founder of Warrior Defenders. I'm a certified tactical self-defense instructor, and I specialize in women's self-defense. I teach technical drills for survival skills and education on self-defense tools and how to use them. My journey started in self-defense because I'm a domestic violence survivor. I'm here to empower women, to teach them how to be their own heroes, and to learn today to have a safer tomorrow.
You can find Holly online at www.warriordefenders.com. This is Margie from Connecting Hearts Network. I'd like you to take just a moment and listen to Linda Kirkpatrick explain to you what Family Patterns Matters is all about.
Family Patterns Matter works with youth and their families to help overcome barriers that prevent their success. We meet twice a month with mentoring, tutoring, teaching life skills, resilience, gratitude, and kindness. We also bring music and art therapy. Please visit our website at www.familypatternsmatter.org.
You have been listening to Tea Talks with Margie Conway in association with Connecting Hearts Network, connecting hearts of women to resources, inspiration, and one another. Tune in next week for another episode of Tea Talks.
Driving under the influence. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
The pandemic has been hard on all our kids. New studies show more than 1 in 3 children who started school in the pandemic now need intensive reading help. That's right. Millions of kids in kindergarten through 3rd grade in the United States cannot read at grade level. Here's the good news. Your child can be reading in just 30 days, guaranteed, with Hooked on Phonics. Even if your child has been struggling, Hooked on Phonics will teach your child to read in just 30 days, guaranteed. And right now, you can get started for just $1. Text the word GRADE to 323232 right now. Hooked on Phonics is highly effective and incredibly fun, and everything can be done right from home and in less than 20 minutes a day. For more than 30 years, Hooked on Phonics has been the proven learn-to-read program that kids love to use. Text GRADE to 323232 and teach your child to read in just 30 days, guaranteed. Text GRADE to 323232 right now and get started for just $1. Text GRADE to 323232 now. Text GRADE to 323232.